Hey guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and oh boy, it's been, at the time this video goes up, it's been, what, 11 hours since the Dokkan Now for Global dropped over on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who checked that out. Shout out to everyone who was live streaming it, my fellow Dokkan YouTubers. Of course, for me, it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I woke up and very much half asleep, watched it, and then just made a breakdown video afterwards. So shout out to all of you guys who have checked that video out. Do go ahead and do so if you have not already. It does contain all of the information from the Dokkan Now, including the information about the sync, which, whilst a lot of people very disappointed, kind of confirms what we'd already been suspecting for some time. But if you want all of that info, go check out that video. The purpose of this video is we're going to talk about the new format for the summons, for the banners for the 9th anniversary. Now, obviously, as of right now, this is the information that they've given us in relation to part 1 of the anniversary, right? So it makes perfect sense to assume that the part 2 banners are going to be like this as well, but I think it's probably worth pointing out that we don't have 100% confirmation. But considering they're doing the Dokkan Fest X Carnival like format, I would say it's like 99.99999% likely that this is what the part 2 banners will be like as well. So one of the things that I didn't even really think about when I was watching the video last night, and then I made the reaction afterwards, was this new summon feature with the step ups, where now instead of just being 3+1 and then that just cycles for the 400 hours that the discounts are available, it's now a 7-step process. But that 7-step process will be live for the entirety of the 400 hours. Now, when I first reacted to this, when they first showed the news, I don't necessarily mean on the video, because obviously, like I say, I watched the video first and then I made my video. When I first saw this, I immediately thought that this was a massive W. And even when I recorded the video, I was talking about it afterwards, but it wasn't until I woke up, because of course, again, as I say, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, so I recorded my reaction and then literally went back to bed. And then I woke up and started looking at some of the comments on the video, and a lot of people are not happy about this banner change, which I think is interesting. So I've decided to dive in and do a little bit of maths. Some people have done some in the comments on that video as well, but I wanted to present it all in this video and talk about which of these banner formats is better, because the one big thing that I missed is the fact that they, of course, nowhere in here have they mentioned the tickets that Global normally gets for these banners, right? We get them for the anniversary, we get them for the New Year Dual Dokkan Fest, like we had them for Dragon Fist Goku and Hirudegarn, where you do the 3+1 rotation, but each of those 3 summons that you pay for, not the free one, you get 3 tickets, which then of course you can stock up and summon on a exact duplicate of this banner, but where you use 10 tickets to do a multi-summon. Now, they have not mentioned those at all anywhere on here, which means the go-to assumption would be that we're not getting those tickets anymore. So obviously people are disappointed about that, but the way I was thinking about it, even ignoring the tickets, there's one less free summon, as you can see, right? Because it would be 3+1, and then you just do 3+1 again. And 3+1 again, and 3+1 again. Whereas in this one, you do 3+1, then you do 3, in which the third one is a guaranteed featured, but then you don't get a free one, and then you go back to the beginning. So then you do 3+1, and then 3, and then 3+1, and then 3, and so on and so forth. Now, in that video, because I was recording it straight after the thing, I wanted to get it up as quickly as possible. It was 3:30 in the morning. I was trying to quick maths in my brain, and I was basically saying in that video that on the offset, if you're only going to do like a couple of rotations, like if you're only going to drop like 300 stones, 400 stones, something like that on one of these part 1 banners, because maybe you're saving all the rest for Beast, it does look like initially that you're going to get worse value, right? Because you're getting less free multis, because the 7th step doesn't have a free multi afterwards. But the thing I said in that video is the more summons you do, potentially the more like saving you are going to end up getting, because the big thing to notice about this is that these banners, I went back and watched my summons from last year. I checked out the summon stream so I could get all the numbers exactly. I've got a text file here with all the details so I can double check everything and make sure I'm reading it out correctly. But these banners, the GT Duo and the Buu Duo for the 8-year anniversary, they had the first step of multis discounted, 30, 35, and then 45. Then you get the free summon, and then that was it. The multis went back to being 50 stones each, and then it was 3+1. So if we look at this one, The first 3 steps are actually slightly more. The second step is 5 stones more, and the third step is 5 stones more. So 10 stones more, and then you get the free one. But then, after that first 3+1, these other multis, like the 5th one and the 6th one, are discounted as well. Whereas for the 8th anniversary, they weren't. So in theory, if you do enough rotations, you're then getting this extra discount that you weren't getting if you did the extra discount, extra multis, extra rotations on the 8th anniversary banners. Now, the big thing, of course, is the extra free one every 3 multis, and then, of course, the tickets. And I've seen the initial reaction to these banners from a lot of people has been very negative. And it is one of those things that I feel like a lot of the time in the community, people just really don't like change. And anything that is different is immediately bad. And also the fact that, I guess with these discounts, it does stack up to having good value once you get past a certain number of summons. So again, for the people that would be doing less summons, like 300-400 stones, the banner does immediately on its face look like it has less value because you're getting less summons overall. So of course people see that and immediately are like, well, no extra free multi, no tickets, this is bad, this sucks, like Global Shaft. I've literally seen people say that this makes Global's anniversary banners worse than the JP ones, even though JP never got tickets in the first place. And I'm not actually sure if JP even gets the first 3+1 discounted like Global does. So, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, I mean, that's a very like vocal minority, I'm sure, but without a shadow of a doubt, this banner format is absolutely better than what JP got. But this video is more so concerned with comparing these banners to the format of the 8th anniversary. So, the biggest thing to remember, and I know people love tickets, I'm never going to diss tickets, I say all the time in videos, free summons, what's not to love about free summons. But as we've talked about many times, the tickets that they give out with these banners, with these banner formats, like Anniversary, New Year, etc., you get 3 tickets per paid multi. So that means if you do 1 3+1 rotation, you don't get enough tickets to do a ticket multi. So they want you to do more summons so you can get more tickets. And if you do 2 rotations, you get 18 tickets. So that's enough to do 1 multi, but then you have a bunch of odd ones. If you do another 3+1, you get 27. So you can do 2 multis and then you have an odd 7 and so on and so forth. So unless you do all the way up to doing basically 10 rotations of the 3+1, because then you'd end up with 90 tickets, you're always going to end up with like an odd number of tickets. And whilst all summoning is RNG at the end of the day, I can tell you emphatically, without a doubt, every single anniversary or New Year or Dokkan Fest, any of that kind of thing, any of these odd tickets that I've ended up with, where I've said to myself, right, I'm not going to do any more stone summons on the banner, so I'm going to end up with this odd number of tickets, whether it's like 6 or 7 or whatever. I'm just going to do these as singles, and then I'm not going to do any more summons. I have never pulled anything of any value off of any of those single ticket summons. I very rarely even pull SSRs, let alone the actual good featured SSRs. Now, that's RNG at the end of the day. That can't be used as concrete evidence to say that, like, hey, getting odd numbers of these tickets suck. They don't have any value. Because obviously there are people out there that will single pull featured units off of these tickets. But that's one thing that you have to remember, is the tickets have a lot more value when you can actually do a multi with them, because then you still get the guaranteed SSR. You have a higher likelihood of getting like an animation on the summon and all that kind of stuff, right? So the way I decided to work this out in terms of the maths here is to figure out which of these is going to have the most value. I decided to use that average, right, where you're going to get enough tickets to do a full set of multis without any spare ones. So that means 10 rotations of the 3+1. And then we're going to try and work out in exactly that same amount of stones, how many summons will you get with this new 9th year banner format. So 10 rotations of 3+1 during the 8th anniversary. The first rotation was discounted, so it would cost 110 stones. And then the other 9 would cost 1,350. So that would be 1,460 stones to do 10 rotations of the 3+1 in the old banner format from the last year anniversary. And that totals up to 30 paid multis, because obviously it's 3+1 and you're doing it 10 times. So 10 free multis and then 9 ticket multis, because by doing the 3+1, which gives you 9 tickets, 10 times you get 90 tickets. So 30 paid multis, 10 free tickets, and then 9 ticket multis, 10 free multis from the +1, and then 9 ticket multis. So all in all, that is 49 multi-summons for 1,460 stones. So then what I decided to do is get up this banner format and try and work out how many stones or how many summons would you get for roughly the same amount. Now, obviously, it works out with different numbers because to do one of these full 7-step rotations, so it's 30, 40, 50, then a free multi, 40, 45, and then 50 with a guaranteed featured, but no free one after that. That adds up to 255 stones to do the full set of step-ups, and that is for 7 multis in total. Now, what that means is the easiest way to add this up to get it close to being the number that we want before, without it being too much lower or too much higher, is if we were to do 6 sets of this 7 steps here, and that adds up to 1,530. So basically 70 stones more than the one we've just done for the 8-year, and this gives you 42 multis in total. So comparing the two, 42 multis on this banner format for 1,530 stones, and then 1,460, which is 70 less, for 49 multis, which is 7 more. So on the old banner format, you would get 7 more multis, and you'd still have an odd 70 stones left, right? So in theory, you could just do 1 extra one, and you're actually getting 8 more multis for a closer number of stones. It'd be 1,510. So the difference would be like 20. So comparing those numbers, you are getting less summons on these banners for the same number of stones. But the thing that I didn't do these calculations and then immediately go, oh, well, actually, this sucks. This is a global L after all. Because the one thing that is always going to be a bit of a wild card is the fact that every 7th step on multi for this new format is a guaranteed featured. Now, guaranteed featured doesn't always mean anything good, right? You guys have been out to the summon streams that I've done before where I buy the ticket packs that give you a guaranteed featured, and then we end up getting, like, you know, some old crappy SSR that's like 3 years old that's featured on the banner as the guaranteed featured. But the guaranteed featured slot gives you that extra chance to get one of these characters that you're potentially not going to get from a non-guaranteed featured. Again, it's all RNG, so there's no concrete science on this, right? Like, we can't say in this set number of stones, because of guaranteed featured, you will pull Broly, for example, quicker than you would have pulled the Boo Duo on the 8th anniversary, because it's all RNG, right? You could literally just get Zeno on your first multi on either of these banners, because it's just RNG at the end of the day. But guaranteed feature does give you that slightly higher chance to pull one of the main characters, because when I watched back my stream from my summons for last year, so I could get the exact numbers for the discounted steps and also to make sure that it was only one rotation that was discounted, literally the first full rotation, the 3+1, I don't think I pulled a single featured SSR. Like, those 4 multis in total for me were just like completely worthless, basically. And then I got 9 tickets out of that, which is not enough to do a multi. And then I think the first ticket multi I actually did, I didn't get anything good either. So whilst, again, I'm not saying that, you know, oh, don't worry about getting less multis because now you're getting guaranteed featured, because it's very hard to draw a hard line for something that is so RNG related. But guaranteed featured at the end of the day, regardless of the fact that it's not guaranteed featured, or guaranteed that you'll get the new unit, I mean, guaranteed featured is a higher percentage chance that you are going to get the new unit. Like, there will be people out there that will do this one rotation for the 255 stones and they'll pull Broly or Gogeta, and then potentially, if you're wanting to go crazy for Beast in part 2 or anything like that, they'll just be done summoning 255 stones, bam, you're done. Whereas on the previous banners, you get your 3+1 for 110 stones total. Then if you want to do another like 3+1, it puts you up to 260. So it's about the same, and you're getting 8 multis instead of 7, but you're not getting anything guaranteed at all. You do get the ticket multi then as well, so it's 9 multis instead of 7 for 260 stones versus 255 on this format. But nothing is guaranteed. So realistically, when it comes down to the big question of is this format better than the previous format or not, it just all comes down to how much value you put into the guaranteed featured step and how good that is. Because again, there will be people that will do multiple summons on this banner, and the guaranteed featured every single time they get to step 7 will be something terrible. Like on Broly's banner, it'll be physical Dragon Ball Super Broly or something. But there are people that will just straight up pull Broly or Gogeta on the 7th step. And at the end of the day, it's RNG. You could argue that someone could have just done 2 3+1s on the old banner format and got a Zeno on the free multi or something like that, because summons are just way too difficult to solidly quantify, like, this is how much you need to do this, right? So the way you have to look at it is, for the roughly the same amount of stones, the old festival format for the anniversary gives you more summons, but you don't get anything guaranteed along the way. Whereas this one gives you slightly less summons, but with that guaranteed featured step. And that example that I gave earlier with the 1,460 stones on the old banners gets you 49 multis, and then 1,530 stones on these banners gives you 42. So 7 less multis in total, but 6 rotations of this new format means you're getting 6 multis where you're getting a guaranteed featured character. And those are obviously 1 in, what is it 10 featured units on the anniversary banners? 1 in 10 chance that you're getting the new unit, as opposed to any of the other normal multis or any free multis or ticket multis where you've got a 1 in, like, what's the general pool of SSRs at now? Like 1 in 1,000 or something. I mean, you're slightly less weighted to get, I think it's 5% featured, 5% unfeatured when it rolls the guarantee, rolls the SSR for the thing anyway. So you've got a 50-50 shot almost in the final slot of whether it's, no, I think it is still lower for featured. The guaranteed SSR in the final slot of a multi has a lower chance to be featured. So essentially, at the end of the day, this format is giving you more guaranteed featured units, and then this format was giving you more multis overall. So at the end of the day, it's up to you what you think in terms of which of those formats is better. I have done enough summoning sessions where I've dropped like 2,000 or 3,000 stones on a banner and just got back to back multis of just nothing but the guaranteed featured SSR, and it's like AGL SSR Super Saiyan Goku from 6 years ago or something. So I do like the idea of having these guaranteed featured steps. But yeah, the tickets, losing the tickets and losing that extra free multi, it's one of those things where you see that and you just immediately think, oh, well, that's an L because we've lost out on something. But I think the guaranteed featured could end up proving to be very valuable, especially if you are someone coming into this banner where you don't have all of the featured units already rainbowed and stuff like that, right? Because like Gogeta's banner has the Carnival Gohan, who he's a bit outdated but can still be pretty decent. Sword of Hope Trunks, he has his moments where he can fail but he can look good as well. The Broly trio, who are getting their easy A, and then of course Broly's banner has the Gods, who a bit outdated now but going to easy A in about 6 months. Golden Frieza, his banner unit that's really good. Tech Zamasu can still be really good. The Buu duo can kind of falter in the shorter events for sure. But like, having a guaranteed featured step is very beneficial for people who aren't coming into these banners with like every unit in the game rainbow. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I saw some great, I say great in air quotes, some were actually good, of course. I saw some great comments on the initial video, people trying to stay positive, a couple of other people doing their own maths, and then I saw the complete opposite end of the spectrum of people saying, there was one comment of someone saying that I was lying about being hyped for this new banner format because I work for Bandai and they pay me, which, I mean, I wish, right, because I'd have more stones than that if that was the case. But no, I genuinely think this is an interesting new format. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see how the summons go. If I end up pulling Broly or Gogeta off of step 7 of any of these multis, I am probably then gonna be a fan, but I guess we will have to wait and see. So let me know all your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Is this a W? Is it an L? Do you prefer the old format? What are your thoughts? Do let me know. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.